Raiders, it has been a while since I've been talking about this amazing champion in Raid Shadow Legends. He was one of the best damage dealers for the clan boss. In today's video, we're gonna see if he lives to the expectations in the Hydra clan boss. And for whoever is not familiar with the champion that I am talking about, is Lorz Shazar. Super strong champion. Now, a lot of you guys probably have this bad boy in the vault and you're thinking like, well, this champion is useless. And honestly, I perfectly understand you. The bombs are just not as powerful in the current meta, especially his bombs. The speed aura is mainly for arena, but it's a pretty good speed aura. He brings his own increased attack, his block debuffs, grants an extra turn, and honestly, all the magic happens from the basic skill. You've heard that right. Attacks one enemy 3 times. Damage increases by 15% for each debuff on the target. You see where I'm going? Recently, we have champions like Theox, which is absolutely insane and makes the other champions go even crazier. So we're gonna have a look to see how Lorz Shazar is able to compete in today's meta on Nightmare Hydra clan boss. Currently, I am on the test server, guys. That's why we only have one review on this champion, because it's not the actual server. So we're gonna take him in for a spin. I'm gonna walk you through the build, masteries, and everything else that you need to know once we're done with the run. So we're gonna go on Hydra Nightmare, guys. We're going to use this team just to kind of like give us a better understanding on how this champion performs if we are to compare him with other champions like Ninja, Phoenix, or other champions that deal insane damage with a basic skill. I was actually talking with Seth the other day about champions that hit super hard with a basic skill. We were kind of like going back and forward with no, Ninja is better, no, Phoenix is better. And then we were like, okay, Lorz Shazar is another solid option. So we're going to see what this champion can do in the Hydra clan boss. And we're going to put him in this team because this is the benchmark team, guys. Now, of course, if you don't have Theox in your team, the damage for Lorz Shazar or any other champion that deals a lot of damage with a basic skill will drop a little bit. But let me just quickly walk you through how this team will actually work. We're going to talk about the builds as mentioned in a little bit. So, this is not a very full aura-friendly team, unfortunately, but we're going to do our best to go in this run for a little while and kind of like try to basically bring in a decent result that will kind of like make us understand how effective Lorz Shazar can be in the Hydra clan boss. Now, keep in mind, the more debuffs on the target, the more damage he's going to do. The reason why he pairs so well with Theox is because he has a very similar basic skill that will increase the damage based on the debuffs that we are having on the current target. So we're gonna basically, let's put the increased speed. Slowly we're gonna get to put block buffs on all of the Hydra heads in here. The head of Rat can cause us issues because he is magic affinity on this rotation on the test server, and that might mean that maybe, just maybe, he is going to wreck one of our champions if we fail to land the block buffs, you know. No increased attack, and we're doing 200k, we're doing 180k per hit, and this is a triple hit, right, on a non-decapitated head with only 4 debuffs. That's actually a pretty solid result without having the increased attack. So right now, what we can do is basically buff, and we're gonna put bombs on the Hydra heads just to bring in more debuffs on the target. I should have enough accuracy with Feral in the team. There you go, 2 bombs in there. The bombs don't do a lot of damage, as you probably noticed on the Head of Mischief. 2 of them exploded. 68 or 62k, if I'm not mistaken, for each bomb. So it's nothing too crazy in terms of bomb damage. But what really makes him go crazy will be the basic skill. So you're gonna find that out in just a second once we start decapitating some of these Hydra heads in here. So let's take down the Head of Mischief as well. Let them all take their turn. Okay, waste that. Dead. The Head of Mischief next. The Head of Torment after. So we can apply the HP burn. Put some debuffs on the decapitated head. So that's Force Affinity. Of course, some of the best damage comes from hitting the Head of Mischief because it's the squishiest one. Now, my Lorz Shazar is empowered at +2. I only have a 3-star blessing if I'm not mistaken. So it's definitely not the most ideal thing in terms of blessings. If you would have a 6-star blessing with Crushing Ren, would be absolutely insane. Maybe some of you guys have that and you keep him in the vault. If you have a 5-star Nature's Rat, again, it can be very powerful if you land the bombs to basically stack that passive. So let's okay, failed. We failed. I was gonna say let's try to kill the Head of Rat in there as well, but Unfortunately, we had that fear on, so that stopped us from getting the job done. Let's put some more debuffs on, and let's attack this decapitated head. So Theox does 1.2 million per hit. Then you have Lorz Shazar coming in with a modest damage because we have no defense down or weaken on there at the moment. I'm not going to buff just yet. I'm going to go in with another basic skill right here. So basically, we're getting around 1.5 million damage from there. We're going to apply defense down and weaken right now. That should bring 2 more debuffs on here. We're going to try to put a decreased speed in there as well. Unfortunately, that did not work, but still, turn 6, 19 million damage, guys. That's actually pretty badass. Pretty badass. So right now, let's try to put a decreased speed. Beautiful. So we have more debuffs. We're going to go in with Theox. 1.8, 1.3. Lorz Shazar. 1.1, 1.6, 1.1 again. So that's pretty solid damage. Of course, that works much better when Theox is on the same team because that will enhance the damage by quite a bit. But we're going to see what he can do without having Theox to help him, basically. So we're going to do this. We have 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 debuffs on that one. I feel like if I'm going to land the bombs right now, I just won't have another chance to basically use the basic skill on this Hydra head right here because it will spawn. So there you go. 2 million, 3.2 or 3.4 million damage from the basic skill from Lorz Shazar without Theox. That's actually very good. And when you're going to see the build, you're going to understand that it's not the most disgusting build, okay? It's really not the most disgusting build. If you're remembering the video that I posted on Ninja with almost tanky attack, 400 crit damage, this is nothing close to it, okay? Nothing close to it. So let's go in with the basic skill again right here. 1.5 from Theox, 1.3. Then we have Lorz Shazar with 2.6, 1.9, 2.5. Look at that damage. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, if you were wondering if Lorz Shazar has a chance to do some work in the Hydra clan boss, I think he does. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And you're gonna see the build, and that will definitely make you feel a bit more convinced, more confident on what I'm telling you right now about Lorz Shazar. Definitely pretty solid damage. 1.3, 1.1, 1.2 there again. Let's land some bombs. So we got some bombs on. I'm just hoping that I'm gonna have a chance to basically attack this. That's it. Forget about it. It spawned. I was gonna say I'm hoping to have a chance to attack that head one more time before he's gonna spawn, but it did not happen. No HP burn, unfortunately, from Venus to be able to land it right now. So the Head of Mischief will definitely get the Toxic Cloud, which is fine. We're gonna kill the Head of Blight quick and call it a day, basically. So right now, of course, we're not gonna deal a lot of damage, but Lorz Shazar is definitely a viable option, guys. Definitely a viable option. Now, I'm not telling you he's the best damage dealer for Hydra clan boss or anything like that, but if you are lacking damage and you have this champion and he's chilling in your vault, you should definitely at least consider him if you're not using him, you know? Give him a chance. You might be surprised a bit, you know? There are quite a few damage dealers that really stand out in the Hydra clan boss, and I'll be very honest with you guys, nowadays is not about AoE damage. Basically are the single hit skills, especially basic skills that can actually scale really well with a bit of help from other champions as well. Like we just got like 700k plus damage with a basic skill on a non-decapitated head on a nightmare difficulty. That's definitely a solid result. Of course, it's not a Theox or anything crazy like that, but it's still pretty impressive, you know? Especially when you line up everything for him. So let's try to take the Head of Mischief down as well. As fast as possible. We want to drop the Thermitter on the rest to keep them decapitated for longer. We want to apply more debuffs. Right here, let's do one of these to put a bit of more damage with Theox. Let's put... let's attempt to put more debuffs. Let's put the bombs now. So we got more debuffs in there. Beautiful. Let's put the HP burn. We're still lacking the defense down and weaken, so we gotta ensure that we have room for that. 2, 4, 6, 8. So we're gonna make sure we're not applying any more debuffs on the other Hydra head right there. Let's go in with a basic skill. I'm supposed to attack the other one, to be honest, but that was just a bit of an error. 1.1, 600k, 990k. Yes, Feral will boost a bit the damage. The protection sets that I have on will boost a bit the damage. But that's mainly because I wanted to see exactly how well he would compare with some of the other champions that I recently tested in the Hydra clan boss. So right now we have 10 debuffs. We don't have increased crit damage on him at the moment, unfortunately. So we're going to see what sort of damage we're going to deal with him on his own, basically. 1,866k, 892k. Probably Helm Smasher did not proc for every single hit, which is a bit unfortunate, of course. But that's fine. Let's go in with Theox now. So we lost 1 or 2 debuffs actually from there, which is a bit of a shame. 1.3, 1.7, 2 million damage. You can see the Helm Smasher proccing in there at the end. Can we put some poisons in Venus? Thank you. Let us attack these Hydra heads again. Buff. Do we have increased crit damage? No, we do not. So I will buff with increased attack just to make sure I have that for when Theox is ready. So we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 2, 4, 6, 8. But I do want to attack the Head of Mischief, to be honest, just to see if the damage scales a bit better. 1 million, 1 million, 1 million. 3 million with the basic skill without the help of Theox. So while it's a strong argument that Theox is 100% enhancing his damage, making him go quite crazy, as you may notice, on his own, he's still able to bring in pretty solid damage, you know? So definitely a pretty awesome one. But you know what, guys? I'm going to fast forward from here. I'm going to take you straight at the end of the run where we're going to see the total damage. I'm not going to do a full run of 1,500 turns because that will take me quite a bit of time and is extremely hot right here in the UK. I really can't stay too long next to the PC because I'm probably going to lose my mind, but it's still going to give us a very good idea of what sort of damage Lorz Shazar can actually bring in. And we've seen hits for 2.5, 2.1 million. So if you add them all three together, you're going to get 6, 7, sometimes even 8 million damage from his basic skill. But that, of course, is with Theox. If you drop that, you're still going to get hits of 3+ million. From this champion on Hydra Nightmare. With Hex on the other heads, you're still gonna get some very, very solid results. So we had a bit of bad RNG, guys, but you know what? Turn 34, we have 205 million damage. This should still give us a very good idea of understanding what sort of damage Lorz Shazar is actually doing in this clan boss team. Head of Red, super annoying with Feral in the team, just smashing us left and right. It's definitely going to be a pretty annoying rotation to try out for this team at the moment. But either way, looking at the big picture, at the whole damage, right? So we have Cardiel with 5.3 million damage, not built on Savage or anything like that. Krisk with 4.1, he is on protection together with Cardiel. Feral 2 million damage. Lorz Shazar brings an impressive amount of 65.7 million damage, guys. Venus 31.2. Theox 95.9. Of course, Theox is Theox, the GOAT. Now, what I do want to point out, unfortunately, because I am on the test server, I don't have access to my Incensa to use her instead of Venus. That would make the whole thing definitely more enjoyable to manual this team, even though the Head of Rat causes us issues because we can gain a lot of healing, we can put the Toxic Cloud, weak hits, etc. And we can actually have an extra ally attack for Lorz Shazar with Incensa. So this is not the case right here, but either way, the highest damage that I've got from Lorz Shazar without using Theox was 3.6 million damage. At least what I've seen in these 12 minutes of the run. Now, with Theox using the basic skill on a enemy that had using the basic skill on a Hydra basic skill on a decapitated Hydra head with 10 debuffs, we got around 7 point something million damage from Lorz Shazar. That's absolutely disgusting damage. Let me just quickly show you the builds that I have on these champions. Let me start with Theox, guys. He does have a pretty nasty build. So we have Savage and Cruel on this champion. Total stats, we have 40k HP, 8.3k attack, 2.3k defense, 221 speed, full crit rate, 350 crit damage. So pretty nasty stats. In terms of masteries, we have offense and defense, of course. Helm Smasher as tier 6, guys, just to boost our damage even more. Then we have Krisk. He is built on a 9-piece protection set. It's basically what enhances us to deal more damage. Now, we're only gaining 5% to 10% additional damage from this 9-piece protection set on Krisk, just because he doesn't really bring that many buffs for the team. But these are the stats, as you may notice. We do have Feral in the team, which will increase our accuracy, so we don't really have to stress about it too much. In terms of masteries, we have offense, support, War Master as tier 6. You definitely want to make the most out of the support tree for champions like Chris, just to ensure that they buff and debuff as much as possible. The next one on the list is Feral, the Barkhorn, guys. So we have him built on a reflex and an impulse set. I was gonna say a curse set for a second there. So basically, we just want to decrease the cooldown of the skills as often as possible. Mainly because we want to have the block buffs. We want to have as many debuffs as possible on the Hydra heads at all time, you know? So total stats on him is basically prioritizing the speed, prioritizing some resistance and accuracy. Keep in mind, his passive will enhance all that. Nothing else really crazy. Masteries, pretty much the same you've seen on Krisk. You want to get pretty much the same thing. Then we have Cardial, which is one of the champions we used, again, on a 9-piece protection set. He is built for damage. Total stats on him, we have the following. Not a crazy attack or anything like that. Not crazy crit damage. I just try to give him some damage, because why not? You know, like every little helps, basically. So we have full crit rate, 240 crit damage. But the main thing that I prioritized on him, of course, is having the speed, having some survivability. We don't want him to die, basically. Masteries, offense, and support tree. He doesn't debuff, so you definitely need to take a bit of a different path on the support tree. And in terms of offense, we have War Master. I'll be considering to switch to Helm Smasher, to be honest with you guys. I feel like it is going to generate more damage. Then we have Venus as one of the champions that we used. So Venus right here, built on a curse set, a perception. We have a couple of refresh accessories as well. The main thing I prioritized on her as well is just the speed, survivability, having the right amount of accuracy to ensure that we won't have any issues. Masteries, offense, and support. She doesn't buff like Krisk or Feral, so you gotta take a different path on the support tree to ensure that you're basically increasing the duration of debuffs, etc. A War Master as tier 6. Final champion, and that is Lorz Shazar. 3-star Awakening. We have, of course, a +2 empowerment on him. I do have him on a 6-piece Merciless. The reason for it, guys, is because I'm going to ignore 35% of the target's defense instead of ignoring 25 with a Savage set. And we're gaining more attack, more crit damage, and more speed from this set. Now, if you don't have a Merciless, Savage Cruel will work just fine, or Lethal Cruel, Lethal crit damage, etc. Total stats on Lorz Shazar, we have the following. 40k HP, 7.7k attack, 3k defense, 224 speed, full crit rate, 293 crit damage, and 245 accuracy. Now, if you are looking at these stats, even comparing him with Theox, he's not as powerful, right? Comparing him with the previous video where I used Ninja and I got that disgusting damage from him, and of course the team was slightly different, he's nothing compared to that. So if I would get those stats that I had on Ninja on him, most probably he will hit much harder than Ninja. So with Ninja I got a 10.5 million damage per hit with the basic skill. Now I feel like if I'm gonna put him in that blessing with a 5-star in that build, sorry, with a 5-star blessing, I'm going to beat that with Lorz Shazar most probably. But then of course there's no Mikage to enhance his damage furthermore. Masteries, offense, and support tree. We have Helm Smasher as tier 6, support because we are getting buffs, so you want to try to extend the duration of increased attack. As you probably noticed, we have no other champion to buff increased attack in our team. That's one of the pros with this champion. You don't really need to bring a different champion for increased attack because he brings his own. And overall, that's what you are able to do with Lorz Shazar in the Hydra clan boss at the moment. As I mentioned, if you don't have Theox, yes, do not expect to get the same results, but he's still doing 3+ million damage on this build on Hydra Nightmare. So on the lower difficulties, he's going to perform even better. That was all for this video. As usual, appreciate every single one of you guys watching. Much love, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace.